a real life experiment everybody can do, proving the Earth cannot be a spinning ball. Spinning ball versus flat Earth. The whole spinning ball flat Earth discussion is too much focused on seeing with lasers, cameras, whether there's a curvature that can be seen on Earth or whether it's flat. I understand that automatically you go to that sort of thing, like I want to see if it's flat. I also did it very stupid. But it's very hard, it's not really possible. It's a bit of a dead-end street. But instead of trying to see whether the Earth is flat, you can also do something totally different. Prove that Earth is not a spinning ball. That's also possible. It automatically proves that the Earth is still flat, or it could also be a still ball, I don't know. But we can prove at least that it's not a spinning ball. That's really possible. So I'm going to do just that, prove Earth cannot be a spinning ball. And how do I do that? Well, it's very simple. If you stand on Earth, well, it rotates with different speeds at different places, but I'm standing then at a location where it roughly spins at 1200 kilometers per hour. It doesn't spin, but they tell us that. And then on a wind still day, if you look at the clouds, they are detached from the Earth. The Earth spins in the air, and the clouds, they float above it. And when there's a strong wind going everywhere, it's difficult to see what is moving. But on a wind still day, when the clouds hardly move at all, the Earth should spin underneath them. That's Newtonian. I said somewhere, I meant like very simple, basic, like the apple falls, and here also the Earth spins, and then the clouds, they stay in their place. Because you can breathe air, can't you? It's not attached, it's detached. And we can see, is the Earth really spinning underneath the clouds? As should happen on this spinning ball. It should happen. So I do that for 10 minutes on a wind still day. Then from here, I should move 200 kilometers, because 10 minutes, it's a sixth of an hour, so a sixth of 1200 is 200 kilometers to that side. And you should think in your head, what is 200 kilometers? Concrete. I mean, that's like traveling a whole country, a whole small country, like Belgium, for example. Or maybe you should think of two cities that have roughly this distance of about 150 miles, 200 kilometers. You think like, well, if I am in this city and I look to the clouds and then I move to 200 kilometers or 150 miles to another city and I look to the clouds, of course I will see different clouds. I mean, of course. So that should happen here also. In 10 minutes, we look at these clouds above us here at one location. In 10 minutes, the Earth should have moved 200 kilometers to that side and should see totally different clouds up there. That's just as it should be. Can be no discussion. It's very simple, and of course it should be simple. And disregards these nerds that always want to sidetrack and disregard everything. Like they are in love with the government, universities, Neil deGrasse Tyson, National Geographic, because many nerds, they are crawling slave worms that will do anything for authority. Ever noticed how nerds always crawl for good-looking tall management in a company? Yeah, that happens. Maybe it's some baked-in natural instinct. The nerds in general are not so good-looking, and they want to crawl for a better-looking monkey that has the power. Because why else do they do it? All these nerds. Why are they not honest? Some are, yes, I have to admit, some are, but most always want to prove that the government and universities, they are right in National Geographic with all their lies. Why don't you adhere to the truth? Why don't you want to find out what the truth is? Being intelligent doesn't automatically mean you are an independent, honest, or proud person, apparently. So, listen to honest nerds, listen to yourself. I mean, this is all pretty basic. And don't be fooled by these people that go into all these details, like, you can never be in a place that exactly moves at 1200 kilometers per hour. You were probably in a place that moved 1236.48 kilometers per hour. That's why I don't believe this. That's being sidetracked with irrelevant details. I mean, it's the basic working principle we are researching here. We are not making calculations to the millisecond or so. Because then nerds are better, yes, I admit it. But if you're such a nerd, then do this experiment yourself and you can do it much better than me. You can pinpoint the exact location and calculate the exact speed and the exact time and the exact distance that the Earth would have moved in the time. All these things, okay, then do it. Do this experiment better than me. And here I have done it in a very simple way. You can see that the time here, it's 7 seconds now, and this is to check that the camera always stays in this place and you have a reference. This is part of Earth, and these are the clouds, and here is this opening in the clouds, so we can see all these references and check what is happening. And then we just have to wait 10 minutes, and then the Earth should have moved underneath and we should see totally different clouds. And I'm not into this all this editing and all this computer stuff. I'm somebody of the big lines, of course. And I've noticed that we have specialized brains. Like all these nerds, they're always going to details, and that's very good for making computers or repairing cars or inventing stuff. But if you want to find out how the world works, it's pretty useless, because then you have to go into all the big things, how religions are all connected, for example, and how all these presidents and politicians in all these countries are controlled, all big things. I'm just talking a little bit because this is of course very boring. Here you can see this hole in the clouds, so you know, you can see if the clouds are moving. Well, they are hardly moving, and the Earth underneath should spin, so the clouds stay there and we spin underneath. But you can see that is also not happening, and we are 2 minutes into this recording now, and it's all moving very, very slowly. But we will see after 10 minutes where this opening in the clouds is, and whether these clouds roughly are still above us here. But like I said, we all have different specialized brains, and that's great, because some nerds, a lot of them, built this computer and built the camera with which I recorded this. So yeah, of course I have a lot of admiration for all these nerds, but not in every situation should you have this nerd thinking. I'm also not going to bother nerds with my big thinking when they work on all the difficult machines and so. They will also tell me, like, it's useless. Your way of thinking is useless when I'm building a computer or inventing things. Yeah, and of course I admit that. But the nerd way of thinking is useless in finding out what this world is about. Like, this world is about being truthful. We are tested. Our characters are tested. That's what this world is about. It's not about technical development. I also thought at one point that it was about progressing as a species, having all these great inventions. But that's not what this world is about. Unfortunately, I wish it was about that. But this world is about being an honest, sane person that is not tricked in going to war, for example. That is not tricked in killing other people. That is what this world is about. It's about finding out the truth. The truth that the earth doesn't spin. That there's probably some giant contact lens over the earth. A big dome. That is the truth. So this opening in the clouds, that's the reference for these clouds, was first here. Now it's very slowly moving to that side. And now we're 5 minutes into this video. And no trickery, no Photoshop, no editing. I would never know how to do that. So I'm just videoing what I see above. Yes, the clouds are moving, but very slowly. This opening in the clouds was here. Now it's here. So it has moved this distance extremely slowly. We're nearing the 10 minutes. This is a 10-minute video, and the Earth spins approximately 1200 kilometers per hour. And yeah, I mean, I could make a mistake, like 10 minutes, a tenth of 1200 kilometers per hour, like 120 kilometers, it would have moved. But 10 minutes, it's a sixth of an hour. And the Earth spins here at 1200 kilometers per hour. So a sixth of these 1200 is 200 kilometers. The Earth should have spun underneath the clouds. And some people will make the mistake, like 10 minutes, like it's a tenth of these 1200 kilometers, only 120 kilometers. Okay, I hope you understand, but that's a mistake I could have made. For example, and nerds would never make, or almost never make, such a mistake. They would go like, 10 minutes, it's a sixth of an hour. And if you have a spin of 1200 kilometers per hour, a sixth of this 1200 is 200 kilometers. Yeah, okay, and of course that's how you should think. Like, very precise. If you want to invent all these difficult things and build all these difficult things like cameras and computers, I could never do that. So Yeah, that's great. But I am a little bit humble towards all these nerds, but they should be humble towards other people that want to find out what this world is about. That they should be a little bit humble to them too, and not only to authority and good-looking managers and so. Just be humble, try to find out the truth. I mean, that's what it's all about. So we're almost at this 10 minutes, and you can see the opening in the clouds is here, and it was here. So the clouds, or we have moved underneath the clouds, you could say, or if it was a spinning ball, just a tiny little bit. So this is proof Earth is not a spinning ball. This is enough proof, because 200 kilometers we should have moved underneath the clouds. Then this little opening in the clouds that is now here, well, it should have been already far gone. And go back to something simple, like you travel from one city to another city, like 150 miles approximately, and you look up to the sky here, and then 150 miles further you look up to the sky, you cannot see the same clouds. That's impossible. The same clouds is opening here, and then the openings here, we can see just the same thing above me. The Earth has not spun 200 kilometers, approximately 150 miles underneath these clouds as it should have. It did not do that because it's not spinning. This is proof. And then everybody that's going like, oh, you did not hold the camera very still, I would have done it better. I mean, you did not have a chronograph or so. All these nerd things, okay, do it better than me then. Please. But I guarantee, or everybody knows, it will be the same result, of course. This is factual proof. We do not live on a spinning ball.